Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make Japanese croquettes. So my last 2 years living in Japan, I lived in this 2-bedroom apartment that was owned by this Yakuza guy. Maybe I should disclaim that because I like living. I don't know for a fact that he was Yakuza, but he sure did have the symptoms. This guy, he would walk into my apartment smoking a cigarette. He had this dark gray fedora shirt, completely unbuttoned, pot belly exposed. This guy was absolutely tatted up. He was missing some fingers and he had some broken and missing teeth, and his ears were all cut up like an alley cat. This guy was so cool. It was like something from a movie. But, you know, he was always really nice to me. And he was really accommodating with any of the problems I had in my apartment. And he loved Americans. So I never felt like I was in any real danger. Well, anyway, my apartment sat above this karaoke bar. And the owner of this karaoke bar really liked me. Whenever she would come around the corner, whenever I would come around the corner, she would literally just drop what she was doing and she would run out to me with 2 warm cans of coffee, and she would pinch my cheeks and just touch my face all over and grope my muscles. This lady knew when I would leave for work and when I would come home from work, and she would show up at my apartment and bring me things. She would bring me lunches to bring to work every day, and she insisted on cleaning my apartment and revealing clothing. Well, one of the things that she would bring me were these homemade croquettes that she made herself. And if you guys have never had a Japanese croquette, you need to hold on to your britches, because I want to say that they're fried mashed potatoes, but there's so much more than that. It's a meal. And they're awesome. Now, this recipe is not quick, but it is easy and it's so good, guys. So let's do this. So what I have here is 4 medium-sized potatoes, about 2 pounds. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rinse these potatoes just to get any kind of dirt off them. So now that our potatoes have been washed, we're going to go ahead and peel them. My potatoes have been peeled. I'm going to go ahead and chop them up and throw them in a pot so we can boil them. I just put them in a pot and I filled it up with water just so that they're all submerged. And we're going to turn our heat up to about medium to medium high heat, and we're going to put this lid on and we're going to boil them to their fork tender. This is going to take about 15 to 20 minutes. So while our potatoes are cooking in a frying pan, we're going to turn our heat up to about medium, and we're going to add about a teaspoon of oil. To this oil, we're going to add about 1/2 of a large onion, or 1/2 of a regular onion, or 1/4 of a large onion. And we're going to cook these for just about, I'd say, a minute or so. Now that our onions are starting to brown up, we're going to add 1 pound of ground beef to this thing. And we're going to just break it up. We're going to add about 1/2 teaspoon of salt and about a half a teaspoon of pepper. So now that our ground beef has browned up, we're gonna go and shut our heat off. We're gonna drain this in a strainer and then we're gonna set it aside while we wait for our potatoes to finish. So it's been about 20 minutes now, guys. These potatoes are ready to go. They are fork tender. They have very little resistance when you stab them. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut my heat off. And we're gonna drain out this water. So we're getting ready to mash these up. But before we do that, I'm gonna add about 1 tablespoon of butter. I have unsalted butter. You can just use regular butter if you want to. And I'm gonna do about 1 teaspoon of salt. And we're gonna salt and pepper to taste, guys. And I'm gonna add about a half a teaspoon of pepper. So let's get the going. You can make this as smooth or as lumpy as you want it. So I've been mixing this up for about a minute now, guys, and it looks like dried mashed potatoes. So now's the fun part. We're gonna go ahead and we are going to add our ground beef back into this. And we're also gonna add 1 cup of shredded cheese. You can use pretty much whatever cheese you want. Now we're just going to mix this up and combine it. So I've been mixing this up for about a minute or so and everything kind of looks combined. It's still a little bit hot to touch. So what I'm gonna do is throw this in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes to an hour and let it cool down before we start forming them into croquettes. While our mixture is cooling in the refrigerator, I'm gonna go ahead and make this sauce that I like to eat with these croquettes. Now, traditionally you would eat these with soy sauce or ketchup or barbecue sauce, but I make this simple sauce that I put on hamburgers and I find that it works really good. So we're gonna start off with a spoonful of ground mustard. And then I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of ketchup. And then about 4 tablespoons of mayonnaise. And we're gonna mix this up to combine till it looks like secret sauce. Now, I normally put this on hamburgers, like I said, but this goes well with these croquettes. So it's been about 30 minutes now, guys, and these are ready to go. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our hands, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna form these into little ovals. Now, you can make these as big as you want. You can turn these into party size potato balls. You can turn them into little hockey pucks. But at the 7-Eleven in Japan, they usually come in little ovals just like this, about an inch or so wide. Now, you can make these as big as you want. Just know that your cooking time is going to vary depending on its size. But this is what we're doing. So I finished forming my croquettes. Now I made them a little bit bigger than normal, so I was only able to get about 8 rocks out of this mixture, but you can literally cut this size in half and double your amount. Now let's go ahead and bread these up and fry them. Now to bread this, I just made stations here. What I've got is I've got some flour and I made an egg wash that has 3 eggs and a couple tablespoons of milk that I just beat together. And I have some breadcrumbs. Now I have panko breadcrumbs, but this will work with any. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take one of our rocks and we're going to coat it in flour. We'll shake off the excess flour and then we're going to drop it in to our egg wash and make sure it's coated really well. And then we're going to coat this in breadcrumbs. And there you go. So now let's do the rest. All right, guys, these are ready to go. So the fastest way to cook these things is to deep fry them. Now you can cook these in a regular frying pan. It would take about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. You could even do this in the oven, 400 degrees at 10 minutes on a cookie sheet. But what I have here is, I don't have a deep fryer, so I just took a pot and I filled it halfway up with oil, and I have my fire set to low and I let it preheat to about 350 degrees. And what we're going to do is we're going to drop these in here about 2 at a time in a pot this small. And these are going to cook for about 4 to 6 minutes. So it's been about 4 minutes, guys, and these are ready to go. They're beautifully golden. I'm going to go ahead and pull these out and let them cool on a rack here. Be gentle not to crush these things, but they look awesome. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cook the rest. So I finished frying these. I let these cool for a few minutes because otherwise it'd be like biting into lava. But here they are, guys. Check these out. So let's taste this thing. Oh my God, it looks so good. It's so good. It's so good. It's crispy. It's got fried mashed potatoes and there's hamburger in here and cheese. This is an absolute meal, guys. It's so good. Let's try that sauce. Let's try that sauce. Oh my God. Oh, so good. I definitely hope you guys like this. I think you guys will. Cheese, meat, mashed potatoes, deep fried. That's a winner. That's a win. It's a winner. It's a meal, guys. This is a meal. So there it is, guys. My take on Japanese croquettes. Now, as you saw, this isn't exactly quick to do, but it is easy. And when it comes to meal prep, this is awesome because you can make it in bulk. You can store it in the freezer and whip them out whenever. You can refry these at a low temperature for about 10 minutes. You could even throw these in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes at 400 degrees and have yourself a hearty snack. During the wintertime, I like to wake up a little bit early and pull these out of the freezer and fry a couple of these and have breakfast on the go. This is everything that a Hot Pocket wishes it was. So I definitely hope you like this. Please try it out.